For the assignment, I selected dams in the Hiawassee watershed that are located in Union and Towns counties of Georgia and in Clay County, North Carolina. Geofin shows that the Hiawassee watershed includes many rivers, streams, and tributaries to include the headwaters of the famous Chattahoochee River and the popular Horse Trough Falls. While there are many dams and variations in the watershed area, the primary river systems of the selected dams and respective reservoirs are all connected by the Nottely, Hiawassee, and Chattooga rivers. While they are interrelated, their uses vary. Their use to humans include hydroelectric power, water supply, flood control, and recreation. Nottely Reservoir Dam is a barrier for the Nottely River that flows from the mountains in the south and connects to the Hiawassee River located farther north in North Carolina. Construction was completed on the towering 180-foot tall structure in 1942. It is 2,300 feet wide and is located at the far northern point of the reservoir that has 106 miles of shoreline. The reservoir is primarily used for flood control and recreation. The Robert W. Woodruff Reservoir Dam is a Class 1 dam approximately 77 feet high. It is just west of Nottely Lake and controls the water flow between Camp Creek and Nottely Lake or River. It is listed by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service as a recreational dam, and the lake is stocked annually with trout from the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. The dam is listed as being owned by the Boy Scouts of America. According to the FWS Geofin data, the Morton Lake Dam is a gravity barrier dam constructed in 1963. It is listed for recreation. However, the Department of Natural Resources information lists the barrier as a Class 2 dam. Just upstream from the Morton Lake Dam, the Caldwell Construction Company Wellborn Mountain Lake Dam is a stone barrier south of Lake Nottely and controls water levels in Caldwell Lake. The lake is used as a water supply reservoir and restricts flows from the Wellborn Mountain runoff to the Nottely River and tributaries. This is a source of water for consumption for nearby Blairsville, Georgia. Chattooga Dam on Chattooga Lake in Towns County, Georgia has at least 5 saddle dams included in the overall barrier system for the impoundment of the Hiawassee River. It is 150 feet high and over 3,000 feet wide. While it was completed in 1942 to control floodwaters, a hydroelectric capability was added in 1954. The Tennessee Valley Authority also states that a fish weir has been added to create water flow and oxygenation to the riverbed. The oldest dam listed for the purpose of this presentation is the Mission Lake Dam in North Carolina. It was built in 1924 as a hydroelectric plant and completely barricades the Hiawassee River. No modifications for modernization of this dam were found, and it could pose a serious risk for fish populations. The construction of this dam is not explained, but it appears to be steel and aluminum. All of these dams are listed on the state or the TVA registers with the exception of the Mission Lake Dam. From imagery, it can be inferred that it is still operational as debris is noticeable on the downstream side and the structure is in place with no apparent or significant degradation. The North Carolina Wildlife Resources Commission states that the Hiawassee River and its tributaries have imperiled fish from 4 species that are listed by the state of North Carolina. These include the banded sculpin and olive darter. The river red horse and sicklefin red horse are listed as species of special concern, and the sicklefin is being reviewed for listing by the state of North Carolina and the federal government as threatened. In Georgia, the sicklefin red horse population suffers from habitat fragmentation and population isolation in their range, mostly due to hydroelectric dams. The Georgia Department of Natural Resources lists this species as endangered by the state and as a candidate for federal listing. The Federal Wildlife Service describes the sicklefin red horse as a long-lived, medium-sized fish that matures between 5 and 8 years old. Long lives and slow maturation have been salient as threats to fish populations. Dam removals could benefit the sicklefin red horse as they prefer swift riffles and runs with low silt and rocky floors. For spawning, they migrate to large river systems. Dams create barriers for migration and often contribute to silt loading while slowing rivers and calming riffles.